Iko Nini. So the breaking news ni kuna vile DIG Lagat ni mweupe kama pamba. Nacheki. And are we surprised? Are we surprised? So, wacha tucheki the circumstances leading to this. So, leo asubuhi kulikuwa na very interesting argument online. Ama a very interesting a video online that was done by Boniface Mwangi. And then the video by Boniface Mwangi was countered by the one and only Francis Gaido. Boniface Mwangi, the commercial activist. Yes. So mse alibaki counter. So, this is what Gaido aliandika. I advised you to shift from Albert Ojwang's hashtags because the government plans to stage Eliud Lagat's arrest tomorrow as a demobilization tactic. Commercial activists will promote this as a victory, luring the public into celebrating a fleeting hollow triumph. So, according to Gaido, of course was not a prophet, alikuwa predict that Lagat atashikwa kesho. But IPOA wamepula first one on us, wame-release public statement wakibongajia the investigations. So ilitoka from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions press statement. Investigations into the death of Albert Omondi Ojwang. On 10th June, the Director of Public Prosecutions, pursuant to Article 157, Section 4 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 5.2 of the Office of the DPP Act, Cap 6B, directed IPOA to investigate the circumstances surrounding the death of Albert Ojwang. Following the directive, IPOA submitted the inquiry file to the Office of the DPP on 22nd of June for perusal and legal guidance. Upon receipt, the DPP immediately constituted a team of senior prosecutors to undertake a comprehensive review of the file. Consequently, the DPP has approved murder charges against 6 individuals. The suspects include the following police officers: Samson Kiprotich Talam, James Muhwana, Peter Kimani. The other suspects are John Gige Getao, Jean Amitu Abuao na Brian Mwaneki Njue. Alafu kamalizia na the suspects will be arraigned before the Kibera High Court on 23rd of June at 2 p.m. to face the murder charges contrary to Section 204 of the Penal Code, Cap 63 of the laws of Kenya. The Office of the DPP remains committed to executing its constitutional mandate in accordance with the rule of law, public interest, and administration of justice. So these were dated 23rd of June, and as soon as you read this, the first word that comes to my mind is bullshit. A lot of bullshit, especially sentence. The sentence that the Office of the DPP remains committed to executing its constitutional mandate in accordance with the rule of law, public interest, and administration of justice. Public interest was the guilty guy, we all know. The guy who said, mtoeni kutoka Homa Bay, mkuja Nairobi mdiscipline kidogo. Talam is on record from Muhwana, literally calling and saying that, Talam alipigia Muhwana kumwambia that wanafaa kudiscipline Ojwang, and hiyo ni from orders from above. But now hii game ilichezwa vizuri sana, na vile ilichezwa vizuri, of course kuna kuwaga na certain character anaitwa Gaido, and Gaido anakuwaga this person who is like one of the most weird conspiracy theorists in the world. So the weird conspiracy theorists alikuwa predict in the morning, I advise you to shift from Albert Ojwang's hashtags because the government plans to stage Eliud Lagat's arrest tomorrow as a demobilization tactic. Commercial activists will promote this as a victory, luring the public into celebrating a fleeting hollow triumph. Then akaenda pamepost video fulani ya Boni. So what had Boni predicted? Because Boni of course hayuko on prediction run kama mimi. Mimi nikiwa Prophet Habakkuk, like I've been predicting some of these things for a very long time, and I'm yet to be wrong it come to these predictions. Apart from of course a few facts juu ya the cases zile sikuwa nazo. So acha tusikize Boni, alafu tuone kile Mr. Nani alikuwa amesema. Kanono alikuwa amesema nini juu ya story, alafu sasa tuangalie like what's actually happening. But as things stand, Eliud Lagat ni mweupe kama pamba, na kuna vile Boni alipredict what was going to happen, especially kikam to ile simu ya Talam. Na ile simu ya Talam ilikuwa inasemekana ati ilikuwa inatuma messages na ikiwa kwa IPOA, na ilikuwa inatuma messages ikienda huko nje kuomba watu do. Na kumbuka hiyo simu. Wacha tusikize Boni.
Kulikuwa na maandamano this past week. Why were there maandamano? Kwa sababu Eliud Lagat bado hajashikwa. Eliud Lagat should be in jail right now. But you know what the government is doing? they are trying to erase any evidence linking Lagat to Ojwang's death. How are they doing that? Kuna simu ambayo ilikuwa inatumika na Samson Talam ambayo alikuwa OCS wa Central Police Station. That's the phone that Lagat was calling. Akatumia Samson messages, akamwambia kitu atafanya. Saa hii the NIS, National Intelligence Service, and DCI found a way to discredit that evidence. How are they doing that? Ile simu ilichukuliwa na IPOA as evidence. Now they are claiming that hiyo simu inatumiwa ku extort watu pesa, that it's sending messages to extort people money. And by doing that, they want to get the phone away from the hands of IPOA to DCI, ndio wa erase all evidence tying Lagat to Talam. Now, Talam is being told to become a state witness, but he's scared that Lagat atamuua. That's the reason why yako jela, Mukona uko jela, but Lagat, the only reason Ojwang died is because of Lagat. Lagat hajashikwa.
Acheki. So this is what Boni alikuwa amepost, and I take Boni as a very reasonable Kenyan. Yes, this is someone who thinks before he says things. But then of course you have the conspiracy theorist aka Kanono, and Kanono alikuwa amesema that Lagat atashikwa kesho, na of course hatuoni ka Lagat atashikwa kesho. You have to understand the way Kenya works. Like even one of the most powerful interviews we've had this month ilikuwa interview yetu na Obuya, and I remember telling Obuya that I think Lagat's tribe was going to save him, and Obuya answered this as a true journalist. Alijitoa kwa hiyo noma ya tribe, because unajua hawezi bonga hizi vitu, but sisi as a podcast we can still be able to talk about this because it's the context that matters. No one is telling you that a community has committed a crime. Ile kitu tunasema ni the political class benefit from tribalism. So through that, they are able to protect themselves, especially if you are rich or powerful enough. Talam Kiprotich is not rich or powerful. That's why they are like, where is she? But Lagat is very powerful. But Saizi, I think they must have assured him, like, you just go through the process and most probably you are going to end up innocent. I would not be surprised if Talam ends up innocent, but Muhwana, akina Kimani, what end up going down. But wacha tusikize ile swali niliuliza Obuya and how I phrased it. He come to his story, and let me just say, I had put on my Prophet Habakkuk hat.
Now, so bado nitakuuliza, yes, there is a fast for everything, but I look at it this way. First of all, he's the DIG. Second, his tribe. Tribalism is something that we always overlook, but it's a serious issue, especially for the political class. For the political class, watamuona kama DIG involved in nini, watamuona kama this is one of our own. And if it's one of their own, and the president is one of their own, what's the probability of such a person going down?
Now, the reason why I'll bypass that question and say just one thing is that as a journalist,
yes,
as a practicing journalist,
yes,
I am constrained to engage in that type of conversation.
Okay.
That might touch on national cohesion and what have you.
Okay.
But I'll respond to your question still in the aspect of public perception.
Yeah.
Now, whatever you have said is the more reason why I actually see DIG Lagat being charged.
So hiyo ndio kitu nani Obuya alikuwa amesema according to him, I feel that DIG Lagat could be charged. And of course, if you listen to that interview, one of the things that we learned from Obuya is very knowledgeable. So he had a lot of facts, and also I think like as a journalist kuna like places where he can't let his mind go, but we as podcasters can go there. And the one thing I was 100% sure of was there was no way Lagat was going to go down. It's just the Kenyan way. Lagat is very important when it comes to 2027. So saizi nasemekana he's the deputy IG. Don't forget the present IG anafaa kuwa retire, but haja retire. So what this has done is this is a bump on the road. So this is just going to slow them down kidogo. But he's needed for 2027 just in case the gap is small enough for manipulation. He's needed because then he can be used to quell the riots. Acheki. But if the gap is too big, then the Moses Kuria prediction of working out something is going to happen. So this is the reason why I felt like Lagat is too important, because right now, who are they going to bring in? Because your docket here, internal and national administration, docket ya Murkomen, is very important. Ukishikanisha hiyo, na ushikanisha a DIG who is very friendly, then the 2027 election is not as simple as we think it is, especially if the gap is small. If the gap is too big, then of course, hakuna kitu inafanywa. So this is the reason why this DIG Lagat guy has been groomed. He's being groomed for that position. So to let him go because of a simple matter like an Albert Ojwang death, do you think they're going to do that? So of course, what needs to happen is on Wednesday, we still need to scream Albert Ojwang's name. We still need to remind these people, and we still need to put some level of pressure whereby even if this guy is to get away with murder, he does not end up being the IG. And kuzakikuwa IG, I think hata sisi wote wale tumekuwa tukiongea saa hizi, don't be surprised ma abductions tutabaki tukishikwa nazo. Like we are not ever going to be safe if this guy ends up as the IG, because people have been out here calling him out. So we're in a very funny situation where history ya Albert Ojwang is actually a life and death issue for a lot of Kenyans. Yes, and I don't know how this government is going to justify this, but this shows you how akina masijuma aipoa, akina ingonga, it's just a joke. Like you come up with this bullshit where this phone was used to send messages and you confiscate the phone, then vile Boni anasema you go and delete all the incriminating messages, and we are just supposed to be somehow very comfortable that justice has been done and we are supposed to move on. The complainant, the guy who allegedly makes 100 million shillings a month, and someone died after saying that guy is innocent kabisa. So akina Talam lazima wachague, and you have to look at things. In the 90s, there was no way to save yourself. Talam, right now there's a way to save yourself. Enda kwa hiyo koti, shikwa for contempt of court, but tell the people the truth. Hata tu go down or go down. You have one life, una lives mbili. Even if you're spending 6 months in jail because of something someone else did, that's super dangerous. And don't forget that say pia wataitisha inaitwa bail, na akitisha bail hiyo time kanaweza chezwa ka ICC. So I don't know, but for me I'm not going down for you. Kauna ni dedisha musa wagaile kitu ya anko yangu ngamote rijela ronginga monegi. He who has taken you to jail is equivalent to he who has killed you. So don't go down. Of course you're guilty, but don't go down alone. This is the guy who made you do whatever you did. He's the guy who came up with this whole thing of discipline. He's the guy who could not handle his feelings. He was all up in his feelings. And now you're going to go down because of him. Why? Because of the 2027 elections and how important he is. Don't forget, your name is Samson Kiprotich Talam. That Kiprotich has to stand for something. Nafaa kuzusha, bang a few tables. Be like, konene. Kaendi vile kanaenda. Siendi chini solo. Not going down alone. So yeah, this is the situation that we have. Are we surprised? No, we are not surprised. This whole IPOA nonsense, DPP, just a waste of taxpayers' money. There are people who are above the law. This Ingonga guy has been so incompetent that I always joke that if you ask an average Kenyan guy about Ingonga, they think about LemFi inaitwa nini? Equatorial Guinea before they think about this guy. And this guy is supposed to be one of the most important people in Kenya, but we don't even know him. So are we surprised that this kesi imerushwa nje like umse mingine? Because ukicheki statement, there's a certain level of finality in it. They sat down with this guy this week, last week that is, and there's nowhere here unaona ni kama kesi bado iko open. Acheki, consequently the DPP has approved murder charges against 6 individuals. The suspects include the following police officers: then Samson Kiprotich, James Muhwana, Peter Kimani. Yes. And this is also another very good lesson about tribe. Aso ni bambaga sana. Ulicheki kuna tubuda tulitokea kuprotest. Hizo masaid za wakale huko. Wako na protest wakisema that DIG Lagat needs to be freed. I know his name is mweupe kama pamba. Kwa nini tribalism hayokoi Samson Kiprotich? Why does he have to go through the whole process? Every time you're lied to about tribe, man, just know. ODM kwa gava. Albert Ojwang died. Do you know the people who want nothing to do with justice for Albert Ojwang? A lot of Luos. naweza kuonyesha kuna msa anaitwa Alai mpaka had to retweet and say there's a whole other level of kulamba. Hata ile nani anaweza shtuka jo, anaitwa nani jo, ubuda anaitwa Migonga jo, akiona at this level, damn, at least Ngonga alikuwa na lamba kitu ina deal na madem jo. Hii ilikuwa ni nani? Alai aliandika the Gachagua gang in the police committed murder and placed it on Eliud Lagat. Damn. Enyewe kuna kulamba haga, lakini jo kuna level ingine ile mpaka unafaa kushindwa. Nikilamba hivi, si nikifika nyumbani nitakuwa nanuka mavi. Nitakuwa nanuka mavi. Damn, like a certain level of I don't know what to say about this. So yes, so unacheki ikikam to story, Wajaka wako in the front line ya kudefend Lagat. So what does that show you? These are all Wajaka wa kawaida, like the average Luo. These are the political class. So the political class benefits from this whole tribalism thing. The average Kenyan does not benefit from that. And we need to come to that reality. Na tukimalizia hii story, okay, kuna another story nimecheki hapa. Ilikuwa ni the late Albert Ojwang's burial funds vanish from father's account and family alleges swindle. So I don't know what is happening na Buddha. First of all, ilikuwa ni Buddha wa Boniface Karaoke. Alafu saizi ni Buddha Albert Ojwang. I don't know. Do they know what they're doing? And which account are we talking about? Are we talking about a bank account? Are we talking about M-Pesa? Because a bank account has a lot of money. And also, easy banks, they have to have a certain level of responsibility. Hakuna vile Buddha kama huyu anaweza kuwa na contribute to their funeral, after the next minute na withdrawiwa na hamuoni any form of usi Buddha anakaa kujua online banking. So I don't know what they are going to say about this, but yes, inasemekana huyu Buddha amepoteza do. And let me check and see kama Citizen pia ameandika juu yake. Hiyo ilikuwa kwa Mpasho. So I don't know kama amenyang'anywa pesa ya M-Pesa ama amenyang'anywa pesa ya bank account ama what I remember is the other one on the other side pia alibaki amepoteza 200,000 jana. So sijui ama Buddha what's going to happen, but so I'll research more on that. Inasemekana the funds have disappeared from their account, so I'm assuming that's a bank account. And I think boy anaitwa nani, Eric Omondi alikuwa amesema that they contributed close to 10 million shillings. So is it the whole 10 million shillings? I don't know. This is something I've not seen it in the mainstream media. Nimeona tu kwa Mpasho. I'm going to treat Mpasho as a tabloid fulani till I see it on mainstream media. But tukimalizia hii story ya Ojwang ama Lagat, wacha ni angalia the last thing nitaangalia ni Levi Mnyeri. Of course uko na Levi Mnyeri, kauja watch your episode imedrop leo, check it out. Alikuwa ameandika the charge sheet in the murder case of Albert Ojwang stinks of cover up. DIG Lagat is off the hook. Who are the others not before court? So alikuwa ameuliza hivyo. So tukiangalia hapa ilikuwa ni the charge sheet, ilikuwa ni Republic of Kenya in the High Court of Kenya at Kibera criminal case. Ni kama ni something 10 of 2025. Then ikakuwa Samson Kiprotich Talam, James Muhwana, Peter Kimani alias Kim, James Gige Gitao alias Kinara, Jean Amitu Abuao alias Gilbis, alafu Brian Mwaneki Njue. The court is hereby informed by the Director of Public Prosecutions on the behalf of the public that the above named accused persons are charged with the following offense. Statement of offense: murder, contrary to section 203 as read within section 204 of the Penal Code, Cap 63 laws of Kenya. Then ikaendelea particulars of offense: 1. Samson Kiprotich Talam. 2. James Muhwana. 3. Peter Kimani alias Kim blah 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 blah, majina zao zikawekwa. Then kwa on the night of the 7th June, day of 8th June, between 9:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. at Central Police Station within the Nairobi County, jointly with others not before court, murdered Albert Omondi Ojwang. Then dated 23rd of June 2025. So kile msee alikuwa anauliza ni Levi Mnyeri alikuwa anauliza who are the others not before court? Who are the others not before court? who is the other not before court? You dig? Iko Nini.